Hi everyone. Hi Divyansh, how are you? Welcome to the session. Just give me a moment. Let me check if I'm live and then we can start with the class. Right? So, as the topic says, in today's class, we are going to discuss the flow of energy, the importance of the flow of energy, and most importantly, I guess, yes, it's working. And most importantly, we'll be, you know, studying the conventional and the non-conventional energy sources, right? Which I believe is a very important topic, right? Let me just check if everything is fine, and then we can start. I guess there is some noise in it. Maybe I'll have to end it. Hi everyone. I guess I'm trying it once more. I guess this time it might work. So let's see if it works. Yes, I guess this time it's better, right? So see, this is the topic for the session: energy flow, its importance, and energy sources, right? So I welcome you all in the session, and before we begin the session, let me first introduce myself for the ones who are watching the session for the very first time. My name is Kalyan Awasthi, and I'm your physics educator at Unacademy. I have done my bachelor's in electronics and communication engineering and my master's in digital communication, which again is a branch of electronics and communication engineering. And I've been teaching physics since 2008. And yes, for the ones who are watching this class for the very first time, guys, we have got two Telegram channels. The very first being the Unacademy ICSE and ISC board, the general channel that we are having. And the second one is the physics channel that we are having, the Unacademy physics channel. And for the ones who are watching the session for the very first time, or you are new to this particular channel, guys, just enroll, just connect with us on these two Telegram channels. On the very first channel, you'll be getting all the informations regarding the entire goal, and on the second one, you'll be getting the details of all my upcoming sessions, right? So in a way, we'll be connected, and I guess this will be good. And at Unacademy, we are having the special classes as well. Excuse me. Guys, as the topic of the session suggests, energy flow and its importance. So first of all, let me brief all the learners what we are going to do in this particular session. The session will highlight the importance of the energy flow, right? I mean, whether it should be unidirectional, it can be bidirectional, or it can be multidirectional. And what is the actual importance of having a particular direction of energy flow. And the later part of the session will discuss few very important energy sources, precisely conventional sources and non-conventional sources, with their importance, their availability, right? So that is all what we are going to do in this session. And yes, let's start the session like we always do. Before we begin the session, let me just introduce myself for the learners who are watching this class for the very first time. My name is Kalyan Awasthi, and I'm your physics educator at Unacademy. I've been teaching physics since 2008, guys. And as far as my qualifications are concerned, I have done my bachelor's, my BTech in electronics and communication engineering, and my master's in digital communication. And yes, I'm a plus verified educator at Unacademy. See, at Unacademy, we are having these two Telegram channels. The very first being the general Unacademy ICSE and ISC board channel. And the second one is the Unacademy physics channel, where you will be getting the details of all my upcoming sessions, the notes of my sessions, the slides, the PDFs, the quiz questions that I give every morning, except on Sundays, obviously. So I would love to have all of you connected on these two Telegram channels. पहला टेलीग्राम चैनल पे कनेक्ट करके आपको इस पर्टिकुलर गोल का सभी डिटेल मिल जाएगा, और सेकेंड चैनल पर कनेक्ट करने से आपको फिजिक्स के सभी अपकमिंग वीडियोस का डिटेल मिल जाएगा. सो गाइस, लेट्स कनेक्ट एट टेलीग्राम. राइट नाउ, अभी आप जो सेशन देख रहे हो बच्चों, दैट इज अ YT, यूट्यूब सेशन. Apart from the YouTube sessions at Unacademy, we are having special classes, and there is a reason why we call these classes special. So let me first tell you what are the basic reasons. The very first being, you can attend these sessions absolutely free. You don't have to pay anything for these sessions. And yes, I mean, attending a session at the Unacademy app of your favorite educator absolutely free. What more can you ask for, right? The second being the level of engagement that we have in these sessions, right? अभी YT session में I'm sure all of you know that there is a lag. I mean, no matter कितना भी छोटा हो, but still there is a lag. But these special classes, they are live classes, no lag, and the interaction level is enhanced through poll questions that we do in these sessions, right? We do a lot of poll questions, and these poll questions for class 9th learners are the important questions. Excuse me. And for the class 10th learners, these are the questions from the previous year board examinations, right? The third part that makes these sessions interesting is you get to clear your doubts live in the class. Okay, you get to clear your doubts live in the class. अभी स्पेशल क्लास में there is a doubts tab. आप उस डाउट टैब को क्लिक कर सकते हो, एंड उस डाउट टैब पे क्लिक करके आप लाइव क्लास में अपना डाउट सेंड कर सकते हो, विच इज अ वेरी वेरी गुड थिंग, आई बिलीव, राइट? सो इफ यू आर वाचिंग दिस सेशन, just like it, and you can share the link, right? Let's increase the number of students who are attending it, right? Chalo, now apart from this special class, first of all, these are the links of my next special classes. Abhi on 24th, 27th and 29th, I'm having these 3 special classes, right? So if you want, you can attend any of these classes. I mean, you should rather attend it because it will give you a chance to, experience the Unacademy app, right? Which again is a very good thing, I believe. Fine. And yes, poll wars are always interesting, always interesting. So you can just get notified just by following me on the Unacademy app, right? Abhi Unacademy pe we do have plus classes as well. These are few of the features of the plus classes that we have, right? You can learn live from the comfort of your home. There is unlimited access to all the videos. Obviously, the top educators are there for you. Every 4th session is a doubt clearing session, right? Every 4th session is a doubt clearing session. Being a learner, I mean, myself, I understand the importance of getting the doubts being cleared in a live class. So yes, you can get your doubts cleared. There is exhaustive course coverage. These are few other features. You can get to, have the study material as well in the PDF form. And this is the pricing page. Abhi agar aap clearly dekhoge, as you move up, the pricing drops, and this happens to be my code, Kalyan Live. This is my code. अगर आप ये कोड यूज करोगे तो यू विल बी गेटिंग 10% एडिशनल डिस्काउंट, राइट? चलो, नाउ लेट्स स्टार्ट द सेशन. सी, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, इन ऑर्डर टू अंडरस्टैंड द एनर्जी फ्लो इन एन इकोसिस्टम, आपको ये समझना पड़ेगा कि इकोसिस्टम क्या है, राइट? सो इकोसिस्टम, एज द स्लाइड सेज, इज अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ बायोटिक एंड एबायोटिक कंपोनेंट्स. देखो, सिंपल भाषा में आपको बोलूं, कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ सर्टेन एलिमेंट्स. अभी इन एलिमेंट्स में कुछ लिविंग होंगे, कुछ नॉन लिविंग होंगे. ये सभी लिविंग और नॉन लिविंग एलिमेंट्स, व्हेन दे गैदर, दे एक्यूमुलेट ओवर अ ज्योग्राफिकल एरिया, राइट, टू एंश्योर दैट इन दैट पर्टिकुलर लैंडस्केप लाइफ इज पॉसिबल. मैं इस पूरे सिस्टम को, इस पूरे कॉम्बिनेशन को इकोसिस्टम बोलता हूं, राइट? अभी मैंने आपको बोला, इस इकोसिस्टम में यू विल बी हैविंग फ्यू बायोटिक कंपोनेंट्स एंड फ्यू एबायोटिक कंपोनेंट्स, राइट? तो अगर मैं बायोटिक कंपोनेंट्स की बात करूं, तो जितने भी लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं, ऑल द लिविंग कंपोनेंट्स, दीज आर योर बायोटिक कंपोनेंट्स, राइट? राइट। एंड जितना भी आपका नॉन लिविंग पार्ट है उस पर्टिकुलर लैंडस्केप में, उस पर्टिकुलर एरिया में, देखो बच्चों, इकोसिस्टम के डिजाइनिंग में वेदर, योर हैबिटेट, एवरीथिंग इज इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट। आपको पूरा कंपोनेंट्स को कंबाइन करके यू हैव टू एंश्योर दैट अ बबल ऑफ लाइफ इज फॉर्म, एंड दैट फॉर यू इज एन इकोसिस्टम। यस, आपने पढ़ा होगा बायोलॉजी में, तो इट्स नॉट दैट, यू नो, नॉट दैट डिफिकल्ट। अभी अगर आप किसी भी इकोसिस्टम के कुछ बेसिक कंपोनेंट्स देखोगे, आई गेस मेनी ऑफ यू वुड बी वंडरिंग कि फिजिक्स का क्लास है कि बायो का क्लास है, तो बच्चे फिजिक्स का ही क्लास है, ये आपके फिजिक्स में ही है, द एनर्जी फ्लो एंड इट्स इंपॉर्टेंस, राइट। सो यू नो द बायोटिक कंपोनेंट्स, दे कैन बी क्लासिफाइड एज द प्रोड्यूसर्स, right, the macro consumers, your normally we call them consumers, and then you have got decomposers, right। अभी अगर आप ये सभी बायोटिक कंपोनेंट्स देखोगे, all these biotic components they require energy to perform their intended functions, right। इन सभी कंपोनेंट्स के जो भी काम है उनको पूरा करने के लिए दे नीड एनर्जी। तो अगर मैं आपको बोलूं कि all the biotic activities need energy, तो आई गेस दैट विल बी करेक्ट, right। Now, not only this energy is needed, the flow of the energy is equally important, right। अभी मैं आपको बोलूं, आप एक सेशन अटेंड कर रहे हो और भाई नॉर्मली स्पीकिंग मेरे से एनर्जी आपकी तरफ फ्लो करनी चाहिए, राइट। द बॉडी विच इज एट हायर कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ एनर्जी is always responsible for transferring the energy to the body at lower concentration. I guess I am correct. All of you agree with me on this? Yes, right, fine. So energy flow is very important, right। Now the existence of this entire system, the existence of these living beings, it solely depends on the flow of the energy। किस तरह से एनर्जी फ्लो कर रही है ये डिसाइड करेगा, ओके। नाउ आई हैव डिपिक्टेड अ वेरी बेसिक डायग्राम। अभी ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है बिकॉज इन योर एग्जाम्स यू गेट क्वेश्चंस ऑन देम। सबसे पहले अगर आप ध्यान से देखो तो डायग्राम बोल रहा है कि सन से जो भी एनर्जी निकली उसको मैंने 100% ले लिया। अभी उस 100% एनर्जी में से ओनली 56 to 60%, ओनली दिस मच एनर्जी इज एब्जॉर्ब्ड बाय द एटमॉस्फेयर। बाकी जो भी एनर्जी है इट गेट्स वेस्टेड, राइट। कुछ रिफ्लेक्ट होती है, आई मीन कुछ स्कैटर हो जाती है। ओवरऑल ओनली दिस मच एनर्जी इज एब्जॉर्ब्ड बाय द एटमॉस्फेयर। अभी इसको मैं 100 बोल दूं, राइट, इसको मैं 100 बोल दूं तो उस 100 का केवल 8% प्लांट्स पर गिरता है, ठीक है ना। देखो ये जो 50 to 60% हुआ है इसको मैं 100 बोलूं, इस 100 का 8% आपके प्लांट्स पे गिरता है, 10% हीटिंग लैंड एंड वाटर, एंड बाकी और भी कई फॉर्म्स हैं, राइट, और भी कई ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैं दोज हु रिक्वायर एनर्जी। तो अभी हम उनको नहीं ले रहे हैं, सिंस वी हैव टू डील विद द एनर्जी ऑफ फ्लो इन द प्लांट्स एंड बायोटिक कंपोनेंट्स, तो हम केवल प्लांट की बात कर रहे हैं। अभी यहां पर देयर इज वन मोर टर्म, इस 8% का 0.02% ही फोटोसिंथेसिस में यूज होता है, ओके, ध्यान रखेंगे। 8% का 0.02% ही केवल फोटोसिंथेसिस में यूज होता है। इज दैट क्लियर, राइट। द सेम हैज बीन रिटन हियर, ओके। सी इफ यू आर वाचिंग दिस स्लाइड, आपको फिर आई हैव इंक्लूडेड एवरीथिंग important in this chapter in this particular slide. So once you're watching this slide, you don't have to check out the entire chapter again, okay। Chalo, now food chain, again a very important component of any biotic system। food chain में अगर आप ध्यान से देखो, this is the ultimate source of energy, right। you derive the energy from the sun, right। now first of all that energy is taken by the primary consumers, right, they use a part of the energy। finally secondary consumers, I'm sure all of you have studied this in biology, right। then you have got the tertiary consumers, and then we have got man, and finally the producers, right? The entire cycle is completed. And let me tell you one thing. There are two energies, right? Net energy and gross energy. Okay, we have got net energy and we have got gross energy. These two types of energies we are having. Okay, and one more very important thing, of the total energy that you are receiving, a lot of energy is wasted as well. And these organisms, they take a certain amount of energy for their own respiration, right? Abhi bodies, they also require energy for respiration. तो इस total energy का कुछ part वहां भी जाता है. So of the total energy, the usable energy or maybe the net and gross energies are determined this way, right? Now let's talk about the two laws of thermodynamics that govern the entire system, right? The very first law, I mean the law of energy, very normal, very important. I guess all of you know this. Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can simply be transformed from one form to another. We have been learning it since ages. Now this is important, right? Dekho, let me explain you it in a very basic language. If I am utilizing energy and I am deriving work from it, तो ऐसा बिल्कुल भी नहीं है कि जो भी टोटल एनर्जी मेरे पास अवेलेबल है मैं उस पूरी एनर्जी को वर्क में कन्वर्ट कर लूं. इट्स नॉट एट ऑल पॉसिबल. Of the total energy available, certain amount of energy is always wasted as heat. Hamesha as a heat it will be wasted. Okay, right? So E is equal to W plus you will be having certain amount of heat. In chemistry and maybe in class 12th, you will study these thermodynamic laws. तो वहां पर it will be clear. अभी since we have to deal basically with energy only, so I guess this part is enough for you to understand, right? चलो अभी जरा कुछ questions करते हैं. The energy वाला part was very basic, 1.5 page in your book, so I guess that will be more than enough for you to understand. चलो, let us just do few questions and see if any one of you in the session can answer. The very first being food chain begins with. Okay, food chain begins with. देखो सबसे पहले तो अगर आप देखोगे यहाँ पर your green plants are producers, right? तो अभी अगर the producers are not producing anything, तो nothing will be happening. And how will they produce? They require photosynthesis, right? Photosynthesis ही वो process है जहाँ से they will be starting it, right? I guess the logic is excuse me. So photosynthesis should be the answer for the first part, right? Second part, the source of energy in an ecosystem. See, always remember one thing, that sun is the ultimate source of energy, right? Sun is the ultimate source of energy. Always remember this thing. Never get this question incorrect. The correct option should be sun, right? Chalo. Energy enters in the food chain through. Okay, very easy. अभी food chain आपने देखा है. Food chain का energy सबसे पहले the solar energy is taken by the producers. They respirate and through photosynthesis a part of the energy is used in respiration. But अगर आप production की बात करोगे, useful energy का बात करोगे, तो yes, producers are the first entity in the food chain and they are responsible for the entrance of the energy in the food chain. Yes, that clear? Right. The next one, the place of the human beings in food chain in an ecosystem is. अभी यहाँ पर बहुत से लोगों को confusion रहता है, right? Anyone in the session wants to answer it? Okay. See, आपको लगता है कि ये आंसर होगा. No, this is not the answer. Human beings are not the producers. In our food chain, in our ecosystem, green plants are the producers, right? We are the last part. अगर आप ध्यान से देखोगे, we are the last part यहाँ पर, right? We are the consumers, right? Of the total energy which is derived from all the sources. Ultimately, we are the end consumers. Yes? Now, $1 million question. Okay, just one more question. What is the only source? Yes, sun is the only source, right? $1 million question. If energy is so important, so are we having abundant energy sources, right? एनर्जी अगर पूरे इकोसिस्टम के लिए इतना इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्या हमारे पास इतने एनर्जी सोर्सेज हैं? एंड अगर हमारे पास एनर्जी सोर्सेज हैं, तो हाउ आर वी गोइंग टू क्लासिफाई दीज सोर्सेज, राइट? सी, energy has a huge importance. You have clearly seen the entire ecosystem, all the biotic and abiotic components, they are nothing without energy, right? Chalo, now let's understand the importance of the energy and importance of having few sources of energy. देखो, अगर मैं आपको बोलूं you have to derive energy from a certain source, the very first thing that should come into your mind is कि यार मैं जिस भी सोर्स से एनर्जी ले रहा हूँ, वो सोर्स मुझे एक स्टिपुलेटेड टाइम तक एनर्जी देता रहे, राइट? वो एनर्जी सेफ हो, राइट, है ना? और ये एनर्जी मुझे कांस्टेंट रेट पे मिले. अभी अगर मैं आपको बोलूं कि यू नो on one fine day I come live on YouTube and I start teaching measurement, right? And I continue teaching for say 2-3 days, and then all of a sudden as soon as you realize कि नहीं यार चैनल तो बढ़िया है, सर ठीक ठाक ही पढ़ा रहे हैं, we should just attend all these sessions और हमारा कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर हो जाएगा, राइट? वी विल सेव अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम एंड चीज़ें भी क्लियर हो जाएंगी. एंड देन ऑल ऑफ द सडन आई स्टॉप मेकिंग लेक्चर. जैसे यूट्यूब पे आपने देखा होगा बड़े बड़े एजुकेटर्स, आई मीन नॉट प्रिसाइजली एजुकेटर्स, यू हैव सीन दैट अ लॉट ऑफ people, a lot of channels, they promise you that they will give everything free, they will give this, but after a certain point of time they do not keep their words. अभी इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि एनर्जी का फ्लो कंटिन्यूअस नहीं है, राइट? तो आप जो भी एनर्जी सोर्स सेलेक्ट कर रहे हो उसके कुछ फीचर्स होने चाहिए, है ना? सबसे पहली चीज तो लाइक मैंने आपको बताया, वो इजीली अवेलेबल होना चाहिए, बहुत कन्वीनियंट होना चाहिए, सेफ होना चाहिए, एंड इट शुड बी वेल विद इन द बजट्स, राइट? यस, शुड बी वेल विद इन द बजट्स. इकोनॉमिक्स इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट, बट द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट इज इट शुड सप्लाई एनर्जी फॉर द गिवन पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, एंड whatever energy is being derived from it, आप वो एनर्जी रिसीव कर पाओ, उसको स्टोर कर पाओ और उसको ट्रांसमिट कर पाओ, राइट? अगर आप एनर्जी को स्टोर नहीं कर पा रहे हो, उसको ट्रांसमिट नहीं कर पा रहे हो, देन द एनर्जी इज ऑफ नो यूज. ट्रस्ट मी गाइज, इट इज ऑफ नो यूज एट ऑल. ओके, सो यू शुड हैव दीज प्रॉपर्टीज. इज दैट प्रीटी क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू, राइट? चल, now let's talk about the sources of energy. So broadly speaking, we are having two sources of energies. The very first being renewable or non-conventional energy resources. The second one being the non-renewable, correct the spelling, the second one being non-renewable or conventional sources. So these are the two sources that we have. देखो, नाम से ही पता चल रहा है, रिन्यूएबल का मतलब आप ये एनर्जी बार बार यूज कर सकते हो. यस, यस, if this is a renewable source of energy, you can use it time and again. I guess this is clear. And if a particular energy is a non-renewable energy resource, non-renewable मतलब renew नहीं किया जा सकता. Yes, right? Now let's check them in detail. The very first being the renewable or non-conventional energy source. Like the name said, renewable means it can provide you energy continuously over a very long period, right? It can provide you energy continuously over a very long period. That is why it is your renewable energy resource. The main source being sun, right? Sun is capable of providing you energy for a very long time. Fine. Now basic source क्या है? Sun मैंने आपको बताई दिया. Apart from that, wind, flowing water, right? स्पिल वाटर नहीं, फ्लोइंग वाटर, टाइड्स. अभी मैं इसके बारे में आपको सेपरेटली सबके बारे में बताऊंगा, राइट? ओशियन वेव्स, बायोगैस, एंड देयर आर टू अदर सोर्सेस, जियोथर्मल एनर्जी एंड न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी. फाइन, राइट? नाउ वन थिंग, सन के अलावा ये जितने भी सोर्सेस की मैंने बात की, चाहे वो विंड हो, टाइड्स हो, ओशियन वेव्स हो, बायोगैस हो, फ्लोइंग वाटर हो, ये सब तभी पॉसिबल हैं जब तक इन्हें सनलाइट मिल रही है. अभी इस पॉइंट पर जो भी मेंशन्ड है, ये सोर्सेज आपको तभी तक एनर्जी देंगे जब तक सन इज प्रोवाइडिंग एनर्जी, राइट? फाइन. अ वेरी डिबेटेबल पॉइंट, wood, although being a renewable energy resource, should not be exploited beyond limit, right? You know, wood is derived from the trees, and normally it takes 15 years for a tree to grow, right? So if we are, cutting a lot of trees, it will lead to depletion of forests, soil erosion, a lot of, environmental hazards are associated with it. And, at a particular point of time, we might end up having no trees. So yes, this particular renewable source should be exploited as less as possible. Okay, that is why I have kept it as an important point, right? चलो सबसे पहले सन की बात करते हैं. See, it's a very easy chapter. Please make sure you download the slides after the class. Once the class is over, make sure you download the slides, because these slides will have everything related to the chapter. Okay. The very first question, how is the energy generated in the sun? And the answer is fusion. The energy within the sun is generated through fusion. Nuclear fusion reaction takes place, right? Fusion is the combination, and whenever two lighter, देखो कोई भी nuclear reaction हो, the energy is always because of the mass defect. Okay, E is equal to delta mc square. This is the Einstein's mass energy relation. In all the nuclear phenomena, the energy that is there, it is because of the mass defect. Okay, right? Now a very basic question, आप बोलोगे सर अगर न्यूक्लियर फ्यूजन हो रहा है तो इमेंस अमाउंट ऑफ एनर्जी विल बी रिलीज्ड, तो मेरे को बहुत ज्यादा एनर्जी मिलनी चाहिए. हाँ, आपको बहुत ज्यादा एनर्जी मिलनी चाहिए, बट सन का डिस्टेंस भी उतना ही ज्यादा है. और यार इतना डिस्टेंस होने के बाद भी टेम्परेचर 44-45 हो रहा है. सो आई गेस दैट इज इनफ, राइट? ओके, नाउ वी हैव गॉट वन कांस्टेंट called solar constant, right? Now this solar constant, just look at the definition, just go through the slide. It's kind of very logical thing. Yes, so this definition of solar constant is important, right? The total solar energy reaching the upper atmosphere, if I take the unit area and we say that how much energy we are receiving in the unit area per second. Okay, second is very important. Is that clear? Right. Now the second one being the wind energy. Now first of all, what is wind? Air has mass, air is matter, right? Air has mass. When the air flows, when the air moves, mass is moving, it will have energy. That energy is your wind energy. Okay, the energy possessed because of the motion of the wind, which is having mass, is called your wind energy, right. Now whenever this mass moves, the velocity moves means there is velocity, means there is kinetic energy, and this kinetic energy is actually your wind energy, right. Now in atmosphere, these wind cycles are produced because of three reasons. These are the three reasons, a very geographical kind of thing, right. Because of these three reasons, the wind cycles are produced. Cycles means these wind cycles, when they move, they generate wind energy. Yes. Now the second one being flowing water. Now if water is flowing, it will have kinetic energy. Now this kinetic energy that the flowing water has, we call it hydro energy. What we call it? We call it hydro energy. Now one very important thing, the water flows, or the motion of the water, the movement of the water cycle is possible only because of the sun's energy. आपने बहुत basically सुना है, these water bodies, they absorb the solar energy, right. The water evaporates, clouds are formed, it rains, and finally the water comes back to the earth's surface, either in the form of rain and snow. ये वाटर साइकिल है, आपने बायोलॉजी में पढ़ी होगी, राइट. सो दैट वाटर साइकिल इज बेसिकली रिस्पॉन्सिबल. अभी इस हाइड्रो एनर्जी से, इस फ्लोइंग वाटर से, यू माइट हैव सीन दैट वी कैन टर्न द टर्बाइंस, वी कैन रन दी, अभी फ्रॉम द waterfall at many sites you have seen that waterfalls के पास you have these windmills जो move करते हैं, right. And yes, you can use the flowing energy, the flowing water, to transport heavy logs, like Pushpa did in Pushpa, like Allu Arjun did in Pushpa. I hope all of you remember that scene. अभी वो upstream से wood को छोड़ता है, and because of this tidal energy, this hydro energy, वो wood नीचे मिलता है, right. I hope all of you remember that scene. So वहाँ पर भी physics है. That is also an application of this hydro energy, right. Now the next one being the biomass, right. Now what is biomass? It is basically the waste and the waste part of the human beings, the dead parts, plants, etc. Carbon compounds. Abhi, these carbon compounds. Now see these waste materials, they are having a lot of carbon content, right. Abhi is carbon content say, when we derive energy, we call it biomass. Okay. Abhi biomass acts as a fuel in biogas plants, right. The main component being methane. ठीक है ना, बायोगैस का मेन component methane होता है, and then you have got the mixture of carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and lot of things, right. In India, we are using two types of biogas plants. We don't have to deal deep into it, a floating gas type and a fixed dome type. If you're watching this session, आपको सिर्फ slide download कर लेना है. You have the notes ready, right, for the entire chapter. ठीक है ना. अभी इस गोबर गैस प्लांट में the biomass that we use, we call it slurry. Slurry is nothing but it is a mixture of water and animal dung. Okay. Now the other one being tide energy. अभी ocean thermal energy और tidal energy में बहुत confusion रहता है. तो देखो बच्चे, tidal energy is because of tides, the rise and fall. Okay. I guess all of you know, twice it happens, high tide, low tide. तो अभी हाई टाइड और लो टाइड से हम जो एनर्जी डिराइव करते हैं, दैट एनर्जी वी कॉल टाइडल एनर्जी. डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज्ड विद एनी अदर एनर्जी. ओके. बट द प्रॉब्लम हियर इज, अभी हाई टाइड लो टाइड से उतना ज्यादा एनर्जी नहीं मिल पाता, एंड वी हैव वेरी फ्यू टाइडल डैम्स, वेरी फ्यू. ओके. सो रादर वी यूज ओशियन थर्मल एनर्जी. इंस्टेड ऑफ दैट एनर्जी वी प्रेफर ओशियन थर्मल एनर्जी, ओशियन एनर्जी. ना ओशियन एनर्जी दो टाइप्स की हो सकती है. फर्स्ट इज योर ओशियनिक सी वेव्स, एंड द सेकेंड वन इज योर ओशियन थर्मल एनर्जी. अभी नाम से आपको पता चल रहा है थर्मल. थर्मल मीन्स ओशियन थर्मल एनर्जी इज बिकॉज ऑफ द टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस. वाटर के अलग अलग लेवल पे टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस होता है। अगर आप टॉप और बॉटम पर देखोगे तो नॉर्मली 20 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड का डिफरेंस है। इस टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस से जब आप एनर्जी हार्नेस्ट करते हो then you call it ocean thermal energy, and the device that we are using is an OTE, right? Sorry, OCTEC, fine, ocean thermal energy conversion power plant. Now the second one being the sea waves. अभी देखो high winds cause the waves at the surface to move at a very high speed. जब तेज हवा चलती है तो समुद्र पे जो लहरें हैं their velocity is added up, right? And when their velocity increases, the kinetic energy also increases. So that is the source of the ocean waves energy, right? Now geothermal energy. Geo, earth, thermal, heat. So we have got certain hot spots जहाँ से we can take out steam. होता क्या है, we channelize these hot spots. These hot spots have very high temperature liquid molten lava within it, and when we channelize it, this molten lava liquid because of the high rock pressure can be converted into steam. We call them hot spots, and steam से with the power of the steam we can again rotate the turbines. अभी होता क्या है, इन टर्बाइन से आपका मोटर का आर्मेचर कनेक्ट होता है and ultimately we derive energy, right? The last one being the nuclear fuel energy, right? Nuclear fuel, I've told you the energy is derived by two process, fusion plus fission, right? And again this mass defect is the basic cost, right? This is the basic cost. The energy is generated because of this mass defect. न्यूक्लियर रिएक्टर है, अभी हम क्लास 10th में we will be studying it in detail. So those who are watching the session, please like it. Now this was all about the the non-conventional or the renewable part. Now let's talk about the non-renewable. ऐसा एनर्जी का सोर्स जो अगर एक बार खत्म हो गया तो we cannot renew it. That is your non-renewable energy source. Basically coal, petroleum and natural gas, right? And at times fossil fuels. These are your non-renewable energy resources, right? Now these resources are generated in the earth's surface because of the age, the million of years that they have, and we are using it, but we cannot use them beyond scope. The very first being coal. It's a very easy chapter. इंडिया में सबसे ज्यादा अगर आप बाकी सभी नॉन कन्वेंशनल सोर्स की बात करोगे, नॉन कन्वेंशनल नॉन रिन्यूएबल ध्यान रखेंगे, तो इन सब में से आउट ऑफ कोल, पेट्रोलियम एंड नेचुरल गैस एंड फॉसिल फ्यूल्स हमारे पास सबसे ज्यादा कोल ही है. उसके बाद भी आप आजकल न्यूज में सुन रहे होगे भारत में कोयला कम हो गया, शॉर्टेज ऑफ कोल, फ्रीक्वेंट पावर कट्स, राइट? So the basic sites I've also mentioned it. And yes, obviously it is a complex compound of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, right? The second one being petroleum, right? Now petroleum हम crude oil से निकालते हैं. Crude oil से जब हम fractional distillation करते हैं, okay, तब हमें petroleum मिलता है, right? And a byproduct is a petroleum gas. When at high pressure it is liquefied, we call it LPG. LPG is highly flammable, right? Inflammable. Yes? So that is also clear. The other source being the natural gas, right? The other source being the natural gas. अभी ये हमारे यहाँ कम है, ये हमारे यहाँ इंडिया में कम है, ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं है, बट कम है, नेचुरली अकरिंग है. Just go through the slide. Main component is methane, right? So it's a very theoretical chapter, so I'll just rush it out. अभी कुछ क्वेश्चन करते हैं. Renewable source energy sources. So which one is renewable? जो मैं बार बार यूज कर पाऊँ. देखो पेट्रोलियम नहीं यूज कर सकता, राइट? पेट्रोलियम नहीं यूज कर सकता. अभी नेचुरल गैस आपने यहीं पर पढ़ा है, इट इज नॉन रिन्यूएबल. तो ये हो नहीं सकता, कोल है नहीं, तो फॉरेस्ट इज द करेक्ट आंसर. यस. मेन कंपोनेंट ऑफ बायोगैस, आई जस्ट टोल्ड यू, इट्स मीथेन, राइट. देखो मैंने वो सभी बेसिक क्वेश्चंस कंपाइल कर लिए हैं, सो आपको वो मेहनत नहीं करनी, आई हैव डन इट फॉर यू. ओके. विच इज नॉट अ रिन्यूएबल सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी. अभी अगर आप ऑड वन आउट भी खेलोगे तो आपको आंसर पता है, राइट. सन, वाटर, विंड सब रिन्यूएबल है, पेट्रोलियम इज नॉन रिन्यूएबल. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट अ प्रोडक्ट ऑफ पेट्रोलियम. देखो दिस इज नॉट अ CNG, right? Compressed natural gas. This is compressed natural gas. Okay. Now you have to select the set of the non-renewable, जो renew ना हो पाए. ठीक है ना. Just if anyone is in the, देखो soil renew हो सकता है, ये आंसर हो नहीं सकता. जियोथर्मल रिन्यू हो सकती है, सॉइल रिन्यू हो सकता है. सो अगर आप लॉजिक लगाओगे तो बी इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन, राइट. सोलर एनर्जी इज इजी है, राइट. राइट. व्हाट इज सोलर एनर्जी. देखो नॉन रिन्यूएबल या कन्वेंशनल, नॉन रिन्यूएबल या कन्वेंशनल वो सोर्स हैं जो एक दिन खत्म हो जाएंगे. नॉन रिन्यूएबल या कन्वेंशनल वो सोर्स हैं जो एक दिन खत्म हो जाएंगे. एग्जॉस्टेबल का भी वही मतलब है. द करेक्ट आंसर इज NCER, राइट. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉन रिन्यूएबल, राइट. जो रिन्यू नहीं हो सकता, विंड हो सकती है, हाइड्रो हो सकता है, सोलर हो सकता है. फॉसिल फ्यूल इज द करेक्ट आंसर. अभी स्लाइड में भी था. देखो मैंने जो स्लाइड्स आपको दी हैं इस सेशन में, दे आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. प्लीज मेक श्योर यू डाउनलोड दो स्लाइड्स. कन्वेंशनल सोर्स, ओके. इजी है. कन्वेंशनल ये हो नहीं सकता, ये हो नहीं सकता, ये हो नहीं सकता. दैट मीन्स दिस हैज टू बी द करेक्ट आंसर, राइट. अभी द क्वेश्चंस आर वेरी इजी. अगर आप ठीक से लॉजिक लगाओगे तो यू विल बी एबल टू सॉल्व देम. बायोगैस, आई हैव टोल्ड यू, मीथेन एंड कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. अभी थोड़ी देर पहले बताया. दैट वाज आल्सो इजी. नाउ गाइस लेट मी जस्ट ब्रीफ यू अबाउट द बैचेस दैट वी आर हैविंग, राइट. अभी अनअकैडमी पे वी आर हैविंग this batch for class 9th. We are calling it Guardians, and this is an all subject batch. The mode of delivery is English. The batch started on 1st of June, right. And if you are a class 9 subscriber, you are taking subscription for 9th. You will be getting the subscription for 10th, 11th and 12th free. All you have to do is you have to use my code Kalyan Live. Abhi is batch mein Hina ma'am is taking maths, I am taking physics, Manisha ma'am chemistry and Vani ma'am biology. Okay. The other being the gladiators. Again, it is an all subject batch. The time and the the mode is mentioned. Same set of educators. So if you are a class 10th learner, you subscribe, you get 11th, 12th free. Now, Unacademy par Unacademy has come up with a new community feature. You can be a part of it. You can join my community. अगर आपको मेरे सेशंस अच्छे लग रहे हैं, join my community. Once you are joining my community, I mean things will be quite easy for you. Why? Because you'll be updated with all my upcoming sessions, all my notes and everything. You can find my link, the community link in the description box. And yes, in case any of you have found anything derogatory and you're the very first one to report, you can claim your prize. So that is all from my side in this session. Thank you very much. And yes, if you have not subscribed on YT, do subscribe us. Click on the bell icon and like the video, share it with your friends. And let's catch up in the next video, maybe a mentee quiz. So till then, in terms of